I'm Julie, and I am a visual facilitator.
I'm Emily. I'm a graphic facilitator.
I am a visualist.
I'm a synthesis scribe.
I'm a visual co-creator.
I'm a sense maker.
Basically, I'm brilliant.
I'm a genius. Woohoo!
I mean, it doesn't really matter what we call ourselves, you know? I mean, because it still requires a little bit more explanation, typically, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness, Julie, when I started, I said something like, I told them all about what I did, right? I go to these meetings, I listen for the top line content, and I capture what people are saying with visuals and words. And then I bring my paper. By the way, my paper's 4 feet tall, and it comes in a roll. Well, the roll can be really any length, but I usually cut my paper to 4 by 8, and then I use pastels that are the soft pastels, not the hard ones, but hello, are you?
Yeah,
Right?
I got it. What I used to do was, you know, it was really important to me that people understood that what I was doing wasn't art. This is a deep process. I mean, I went to graduate school and got a master's degree in organization development, which, frankly, I think was very useful to doing this kind of work.
Very.
You know, I mean, I'm not just over there drawing.
Oh, no.
I am listening deeply. I am holding the space. Do you know?
Yes.
I mean, come on. I am creating a third space for this group to think better together. It's all about the process.
Absolutely.
Many years later.
What do you do?
Well, I draw for other people. What do you do?
I help groups visualize to build alignment.
A lot has changed, at least in the way I do work. I mean, has it changed for you over the years?
Julie, right now, I am all about comfort, okay? I mean, look at me, right? In the past, it was more like I wanted to show people that I was in the game. You know, when I got to the job, I never sat down. I just got in there and I was like Serena Williams. I was in the ready position. I even listened with my face. I think I got that. Yeah. And then I would start really high. I think I can reach your title over the chair rail, no problem. And then as I move down, you know, it's okay. I work out, my thighs are strong, I can do this. I'm fine, it's good, I got it.
Start high.
And this is basically why I never wear a skirt. Right?
I mean, I don't wear skirts in general, but yeah.
In general either.
That's a better reason too.
So now I'm like, yes, I'll need a cocktail round for all my markers, and I'd like a chair, preferably one with wheels, so I can do this. Got it? Swish, 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 swish. Got it? Swish, 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 swish. Got it.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm saying.
So what's different for me, I would say, is like when I first started, I was like, please send me all of the PowerPoints. Please. Yes, send me all of the white papers.
Want it.
Please send me all of those links. And I would read it all. I mean, even if I didn't understand most of it, which created a little anxiety. I'm like, what the heck are these people talking about? I'm like, I better Google image like a DMR value proposition. Like, how could I draw that? Because they're gonna say it, and I need to be ready to write it down.
Print it out, have a visual.
Right.
Yes.
Now, frankly, prep time looks like this. There's pens in the bag.
Good.
Which brings us to our FCI.
FCI, everyone.
You know what an FCI is?
Flip chart interlude. La, 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 la.
Now, what kind of presentation to a bunch of visual practitioners would be complete without some visual models? So we really wanted to make sure we're going to use some with you all. The first is, I don't know, I mean, like, is it an XY axis matrix? I can never remember.
A, B, I don't know.
Which one's X, which one's Y? You just told me
Oh,
something.
I did have a mnemonic for that. I understand the Y is the tree.
Okay, so this is the Y. Okay, so
I think, is that right?
this would be 0, and then this is time.
Yep.
going to
The
infinity. And then this up here could be a number of different things, but basically it's mucho,
Yes.
a lot,
Many,
tons,
much.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
The big
So
things. Yep.
when I talk about this, like prep time,
Right on.
yeah. It's kind of how,
I've got one for you. Right? Oops. Like with the, the marker bag you referred to. At first I had so many colors. I wanted to color in every bit of my chart. So I needed the sky blue and the marine blue and the whatever, the purples, etc. Now it's a little more, maybe I'm okay if I just have a black, a gray, and what? A lavender.
right.
I don't know.
Well, that third
Keep it
color is just
simple.
kind of, yeah. So for me, when I think about this, I would say like this is like anxiety about asking to be paid.
Sure.
Because like here it's like you don't even need to pay me. I just want to be in the room.
Yes. I'm in service.
I
Right.
need the experience.
I
I
do
want
need the
people to
experience.
understand what this is.
Yeah.
I'll show up.
I'm not sure I'm good enough.
No. No anxiety. Total confidence, frankly.
Even for asking for money?
Asking for, that's what this whole thing is, yeah.
Yeah.
Confidence around asking for
Yeah.
money, absolutely, yeah. None of this like haggling over stuff.
So you have like a half day rate though, right?
You bet. I have a half day rate, and you know what it is? Twice as much.
Boom! I love it. So Julie, I want to move into another section. I want to talk about the A word.
Oh, big A,
Bam.
little A.
Yep. You got big A and little a. Would you like to let
Okay,
me know
well,
how you respond to that?
we're talking about artist. Artist! Some of us love to be called that, some of us don't. I personally have had a long life journey about trying to come to terms with being able to call myself an artist, while also simultaneously resisting anytime anyone would ever call me an artist. Working, because that's different. But anyways, we'll get to that.
We will.
So, I went to a nonviolent communication training because it was, like being so stressed out by having people ask me that question. I was like, I need to work on this. So, in the beginning of this workshop, you had to think, the facilitator said, think back to a time or some scenario that happens to you fairly often where you're kind of triggered. And then we went around the circle, and the idea was that you would just share it, and there wasn't any discussion about it. So, oh, when my boyfriend says this, and when my mom says that, and we're going along, and everyone's sort of nodding, and it comes to me, and I'm like, well, when someone asks me if I'm an artist, it really pisses me off. Whoa. And the whole, like someone actually said, really? And my friend turns to me and says, are you kidding me? And I was like, what? This is not a debate, people. We're just supposed to share our triggers.
Those are your feelings.
Yes.
They're real, they're valid. Yeah.
Do you have similars?
Well, I mean, Julie, I sort of have the opposite thing going on, and it's a different thing for me because when I was growing up, I always knew I loved art. I loved drawing. I took so many art classes. I even went back to school after college, and I got my master's in fine art. So I was like, yeah, I feel like kind of like an artist, small a. It's not like Michelangelo, Picasso, and me, but I'm just saying. So when I would be at a job and someone would say, oh, I love your art, the big thought bubble in my head was like, well, actually, this isn't really my art. My art feels more like me in my studio with the birds singing and the music playing, and I'm plumbing the depths of my soul, and I'm making a painting or I'm making a collage, and it's what I want to feel. But I learned that it was best to not necessarily share all that, and instead just look at the person and smile and say, thank you so much. That is so kind of you.
See, now that's huge. I'm still working to get there.
Yeah.
So you're an inspiration. You're a total inspiration.
Well, here we go. Back to flip chart land.
I do
like
think we
to-
need
if
another
you don't
one.
mind,
You
I'm gonna
guys
move
got
this.
this, right? We don't
I'm
need
not
to,
going to
like-
post this because we don't need to have
No.
we just, yeah.
It's burned
You
in
guys-
your memory. See, actually, we took it away and you can still see it.
Oh, it's still there. It's
That
burned
magic
in.
that happens.
It's incredible. So, every meeting, I think it's a requirement by the International Association of Meeting Police. Every meeting needs one of these. Bam, bam, right?
Whoa!
Drop the
Now
mic.
that is one nice bend, and you know, she and I
Right.
agreed that she was going to draw it because I can
It's a
never
little
get these
scary.
proportions right.
It's scary.
Mine always ends up all lopsided.
It's
and-
scary to
no,
draw the
that's
bend.
good.
Yeah.
So, what we decided in this Venn was, well,
Yeah.
this one here.
Well, yeah, what do you got for that one, Jay?
I'm going to say client
Okay.
or content.
Yep.
So, sometimes you have a really great client and you really want to do work with them. It's exciting, it's interesting, or the content's fascinating, and you just want to be in the room and hear that. It's very compelling.
It's compelling. Their mission is so strong and powerful. You really are aligned. Other times you ask yourself, is it okay for me to work for the Lord of Darkness? Do I really want to buy that car? You know?
Yeah, and well, what I think that takes us to our next
Yes,
one,
yes,
which,
okay.
you know, and the overlap between that
Sure,
is really how
okay.
you make that decision.
Nice work.
Is,
Yes.
right?
Dinero,
So,
CC.
I mean, I don't know, you probably have higher values than me. I can pretty much be bought for any price, frankly. It doesn't,
Except
really
for a
matter what
half
you-
day, right?
well, yes. Right, that's where I draw the line.
Right, well,
but
dollar, yeah, that
what
does.
kind of half day doesn't really matter.
That's right.
As long as they really.
Money is a factor in the jobs we consider. And then there's also the factor of, would
Yeah,
you,
well,
shall I?
Yeah, yeah, you've got a different
I
color.
got a different color. The almighty
Location, location, location.
So, Rio de Janeiro,
Bermuda. I do it for almost anything.
New York City,
Toledo in December. Right? I mean,
Not
all
so
of these
much.
things kind of balance out, but what I just want to also point out, it isn't just about the geographic location, but there's also like the space that we're working in and the elusive flat wall.
right. Not the flat wall with the immovable artwork or the flat wall that happens to have cabinets on it.
Right,
The actual flat wall.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not the stone, not the brick.
no. And, you know, I don't know, I think it's one of those things like, I have to see a picture. My client recently sent and said,
pictures.
oh, actually, I saw the room and it does have a flat wall. And I said, do you have a picture? And they're like, no, but it's flat. And I said, you know, well, they used to think the world was flat. So, so what I'm curious about, though, is so when you get location, client, content, and money, when you get all three of those, like, what's this?
Yeah.
What do we call that?
Julie, we call that the ideal job.
Yes,
honey.
we do.
That's a fact. So, sometimes, however, things are not ideal.
No, sometimes things are really not ideal.
Sometimes they are not.
In fact, early on, which really wasn't that long ago,
Yesterday.
I was referred work by one of the masters and leaders in our field, the amazing, incredible Nancy Margulies.
Nancy.
Now.
Yes.
How wonderful that she had enough faith to refer me to a job. And what the? Their client was like, oh my God, we were working with Nancy for 10 years. And I'll still be able to draw something. Nancy does that. I don't do that.
Very intimidating.
Ugh.
You know, the other thing that's intimidating is you go to a group job, right? And you're in your little breakout room and you're working furiously, and then you come into the other breakout room and see your friends working, and you're like, oh my gosh. Did you do that live? Because, okay, that's cool. But you know, there's other good things about the group job because we have a lot of fun. But sometimes it triggers me, you know? It's like, it's not unlike the conference, right? This is so great. It's like we're Fame High School here. You know, it's like all the best kids from the what's it called? Arts magnet high schools that come together to the one high school.
Right.
You walk in, you're like, this is fantastic. And also anxiety provoking.
Totally. I mean, right. I mean, most of my, and probably many of you, experience is that when I'm in a room with a bunch of people that are there for a meeting, and I've got these different colored markers and a big piece of paper, they think that I am amazing. So like, you are sort of magical and mysterious how you do that. Oh my God. How does it happen? And I'm thinking I could like, like close my eyes and go like this, and I think they might still be impressed.
That's right. They can barely write their own name.
Right.
So they're like amazed.
And then you're feeling pretty good about yourself, and then you come here.
Yeah.
And you realize that you thought you were at the top of the class. No.
This is intense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally for me, I just got to tell you that it's kind of overstimulating, right? You walk in and that fear of missing out thing, right? The FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's happening over here? What are you guys talking about? That sounds awesome. What's this? What's this new digital tool? Wow, you're so smart. I wish I knew that. I don't know that. That's cool. Wait, what's this? Those drawings are so beautiful. Your drawings are amazing. Wow, your color's incredible.
Oh, see,
wow,
well,
I think I suck. Do I suck? I think I suck. Holy crap.
Now, the best way to deal with that, my strategy, which I would recommend to anyone who suffers from this, is just don't look at anybody else's work. I mean, I've done that for like 8 years.
Yeah.
You know? Like at the conference, I just like keep your eyes on the carpet. It's great carpet. You don't need to be looking up at all that stuff.
Lots of patterns, lots of
Keep
colors.
your eyes down, keep you focused, it's all about listening. It's all about listening, it's not about looking.
That's right.
Right? We don't need to mess ourselves up with
I just like to go to a dark room and lie down every now and then.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think this is a beautiful segue to our next FCI.
I think you're right. Let me take
Yeah. Lovely, lovely. By the way, this is not an adequate flip chart stand.
Yes.
Rather ironic at this
ironic.
conference that we would have this situation in our hands. Anyways, sorry,
Yeah.
I know
No,
you told me not to
liked
say anything
that.
about it.
I like
and
that
okay.
improv. It's good.
Shall I
Please.
lay it out?
Please.
So we have one of these.
Yep.
We have one of these, which is a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget the arrows.
It's another layer of
All right.
complexity.
Let me add this too. May I?
Yes.
Right, because we've got these little arrows too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got high, and we've got low. And we've got, low and high. So, what I was thinking, Julie, is that this whole judgment stuff comes up, right? So, one of these arrow thingamabobs could be about content, right? Well, pretend I drew it on that. But anyway, content. Is it low content or high content? Did you capture everything they said? Or maybe just drew one picture of a, toaster or something, right?
Right.
And then over here, low, what's your feeling about your confidence level on drawing? Is it kind of low and you don't like to draw, or is it high and you love to draw?
Or not a lot of drawing and a lot of drawing.
That's right. Or, just feeling like my drawing is crappy, or that person's drawing is great. And then you think to yourself, well, what are my judgments about where I should be on this chart?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I don't
this is
know.
anxiety.
When I look at it, I can totally tell you where I am, and I can tell you where you are, and you.
And you are.
I have my opinions. I'm like, oh yes, that little mister over there is like amazing with this, but not that interesting with this.
Yep.
And I really, comforted myself for a long time, because this is my little like, oh, I can't draw. And saying that for, oh, I can't draw. That's just me. I'm like over here. So I boost my ego with but I am like banging on that content. I'm a good listener. I'm a good synthesizer. I don't have to worry about that drawing stuff.
Yes, yes. I know, and then there's the whole other invisible stuff that we don't show on here either.
That's true.
Right? The fourth dimension of
Right. The energy in the room.
how you show up,
Right.
your relationship to the client and to the listening.
This just occurred to me too. So
Yes.
like, I sometimes think our clients mostly are kind of in this range, because they're looking at our stuff and they're making an assessment of that. And I think that when I think about that, I think, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm getting paid to do this. When the reality is that there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the invisible that I'm doing in that room, and I'm like, oh my God, they could never pay me enough to do this. Right?
Boom. Yes. Well, you know, that makes me want to shift gears and go back to the A word again,
Okay.
the artist. Do-si-do, do-si-do. Because I also see, when you said that, Julie, it made me think that maybe there's another way to think about this, right?
No.
Come on, I love options.
Are you going to reframe me?
I'm going to reframe you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Because maybe you're actually a change artist.
I like that.
Right?
I'm a change artist.
Maybe you're actually kind of like a listening artist.
I like that, a listening artist.
And dare I say,
That's good.
maybe you're actually a hold the space artist.
Ooh, space artist.
Hold the space.
I think
Bring
you're
it
right.
in. You know, and I've been thinking about like how to be in this environment, how to be with this excitement and anxiety and joy and worry all together. And I felt myself running here and running there, as I described so eloquently earlier. And I came up with a visual metaphor.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what this has been lacking, is a visual metaphor.
This is how it is. This is how
Pull
it
it
is.
in the end.
Yeah, bam. My visual metaphor is I desire to actually be like a tree. I am completely ready to be like a tree, and here's why. I thought rather than running from place to place and trying to grab things and be anxious about, do I have it enough? Am I good enough? Is that person doing something amazing that I don't know how to do yet? What if I just rooted down and found those underground aquifers,
Streams.
right? You know, the ones that say,
the water table.
listening,
Right. The drawing stream.
the process stream,
The color stream.
all of that. What if I reached down into those and I found it and pulled it all up through my own treeness and I expressed it in my own tree way?
And mine comes out different than yours. Look.
And imagine that you have your whole ecosystem of
Yes.
your type of clients.
People
that
like my
love
tree.
Your type of tree.
Yes.
Earlier you were a palm tree. What are you now?
I think I'm still a palm, but I kind of got
You're
like a little.
breezy.
Yes.
I
extra
love
fronds.
It. I love it. So I just feel like I want to be like a tree.
You know, and as you're talking about that, because I'm thinking, you know, it's beautiful. Like, I'm a different tree, you're a different tree, we're all a bunch of different trees. So much more interesting. Like, have any of you ever been to Mount St. Helens? So it blew up, I don't know, sometime in the 80s.
Right.
And then it took a really long time for something else to grow there, but Weyerhaeuser, or however you say that company's name, owned a bunch of land, and so they planted a bunch of trees. And they, I don't know what kind of tree it was, but they're all the same. And then when you drive up there, it's like this visual illusion. The landscape goes like this. I mean, like, it makes me nauseous. I have to, like, not look at the trees because they're all the same. And I realize that there's no place else in nature that where all of the same kind of tree grows.
Right.
And how, like, uncomfortable and uninteresting that is.
That's right.
So,
So
I guess what we're left with is
the core question.
the core question.
What kind of tree
do
do
you
you
want
wanna
to
be?
be?